When discussing South Korean League of Legends club T1, there's only one word that can accurately describe them, and well, that's victory. Throughout their decade-plus supremacy as the game's de facto main characters, they've accomplished almost everything imaginable in the esports world. Well, maybe there's one last thing. In 2022, captained by the undisputed greatest to ever touch the game in Faker, T1 is on the pursuit of perfection. And this is how it all came together. God, the unkillable Demon King, it doesn't matter what you call him. T1's success starts with one man at the top. Faker. 9-time domestic title holder and 3-time world champion with more individual accolades to count. Faker is having his best season individually probably since his historic run at the 2017 World Championship. Yet it's not about the solo kills or dazzling outplays that made the now 25-year-old a household name back in his rookie season of 2013. It's about the reinvention of his play. Whereas we've seen players in the past fall apart as the years go on, unable to keep up with the next generation of mechanical prodigies, Faker has developed himself into a bit more of a crafty player, a smarter player, a neutralizer of sorts, utilizing his brains, experience, and the weapons around him to keep up and defeat his younger, faster peers. The once flashy, lane-dominant Phenom has transitioned to the next stage of his career as the older brother, the grizzled veteran of the squad. While there are still moments where Faker takes you back in time with his LeBlanc dashes, the greatest of all time has truly embraced his new role as a linchpin. He facilitates and enhances the cast of characters around him, his talented teammates who were in grade school when he first became a pro. To complement a captain and central piece player of such gravitas, T1 needed the perfect coach for its 2022 squad. Enter Pult, the straight-laced, bespectacled general manager turned coach, who on the surface might be a surprise choice for the historic franchise. But, as you unravel his history, you find that Pult is one of the most well-regarded competitive video game players of the last decade, a legend in his former game of StarCraft 2. Previous coaches of T1 have come in and attempted to implement their ideal version of what a Faker-led League of Legends team should look like. With Pult, it's different, as his past accomplishments as a pro player and years of traveling the world give him a perspective and sort of bond with Faker that few possible coaches could bring to the table. Behind his cheery, business-like exterior lies one of the most intelligent minds in esports today. Pult is renowned in the StarCraft scene for becoming a top-tier pro while also being accepted into Seoul National University, one of the most difficult schools to get into not only in South Korea, not only in Asia, but in the entire world. Together, the brain trust of T1, Faker, and Pult, alongside their ownership and assistant coaches like Bengi, have created the perfect foundation for the rest of T1's success to be built upon. Without a captain and coaching staff working together in unison, everything else becomes wildly more difficult to execute upon. So, what do you do once you've laid down the roots of your title-aspiring squad? You start building, of course. And there are few teams globally right now as good at development as T1. Akin to the European Football Academy structure, T1 has built out tiers in their prospect pools, looking to stay one step ahead of the competition through scouting. Look no further for proof of the validity of their development system than the trio currently in their starting roster of Zeus, Owner, and Gumayusi. They've all come through the T1 prospect and academy hierarchy, and some, like bottom laner Gumayusi, have had to sit behind world-class talent waiting their turn for stage time. During those times as understudies, several Chinese and Korean teams have tried to craft deals for the T1 prospects, the money sometimes ranging in the millions for standouts like Gumayusi. And while they have sold off and transferred some of their up-and-coming talent, they've denied and stuck to the process for the players they truly believe are the future of the main squad. And the results of this process? Well, they've been nothing short of perfection. After playing behind Teddy, the always confident Gumayusi has emerged as a world-class bottom laner. Owner, in his own right, has established himself as one of the world's most exciting junglers to watch today. And Zeus, the least experienced of the three, has matured into a reliable threat in a single season. And as the wheels turn for the 2022 squad, the next generation of T1 players are already being trained for their chance to usurp the current starters. Remember this, great teams have 5 excellent players. Great franchises, they have 5 players waiting in the wings to take their spot.
I have no idea in hell how T1 did that! How did Guma live?
Final step. We got the foundation, we developed the structure, now what? Simple. Dinero, cash, coin, bread, money. When you can make sure everything is sturdy, that's when you add the cherry on top. In this case, the final piece of this Golden Sunday is arguably the best support player in the world. Keria might not have been developed by T1 like other players on the starting roster, but he's the kind of player that turns a championship team into a possible dynasty. On a team of Faker, Keria has emerged not only as one of the main shot callers on the squad, but has arguably become their ace player as well. As if the spirit of Mad Life lives on inside him, Keria is a walking highlight reel. He's turned the support position into the most exciting role in League of Legends whenever he's on the field. Spending money often gets a bad rap in esports, as if spending money for a player is the lazy or easy way out. That's ridiculous. The issue of money in the scene is that teams often throw cash around without doing the heavy lifting first. While some orgs think, drop the bag first, ask questions later, the long-lasting ones, the successful ones, be it traditional sports or esports, use their funds to put themselves over the top, not to try to get there in the first place. Although T1's aim is perfection, we all know it won't end there. Over the years, we've seen several record-breaking teams showcase their brilliance as spring blooms, or dominate in the dog days of summer, but domestic glory won't be enough for this T1 squad. When trying to chase the greats, which in this case means chasing some of your own ghosts along the way, a league title or even MSI won't do. It will all culminate for T1 at the upcoming World Championship in North America this fall. The past 2 times the pinnacle of the sport has been set in the region, it's ended the same way. Faker, standing in the middle of a packed California sports arena, hoisting the Summoners Cup for the world to see. T1 know that a perfect season won't quiet their critics or stop backlash if they fall short of a world title, but they're okay with that. They welcome it. The 2022 T1 team wasn't built and crafted over years of scouting, development, and spending at the right moments to wilt in the face of a challenge. They were built to leave their place in history. Let's see if the plan all comes together, shall we?